It's 1 p.m. Good afternoon and welcome to the news at 1 on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Charity Jerome. First, the news headlines. Resident doctors commence nationwide strike. Nigerian Air Force fighter jet goes missing after losing radar contact in Borno. On the foreign scene, 7 major Hong Kong activists found guilty over protests. And in sports, Naomi Osaka hopes to learn lesson from defeat, excited for clay season. Details of these and more coming shortly. We begin with health matters, where members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, have commenced a nationwide strike despite the federal government's last-minute efforts to stop the action. The resident doctors, however, assured Nigerians that their action was not meant to hurt the people. They gave the explanation in a message posted on the association's Twitter handle at @NARD_Nigeria today. In the message, NARD said that the strike is to challenge the Nigerian government, whose responsibilities, amongst others, is to care for their citizens and labor force to do the needful. Meanwhile, Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige has appealed to the doctors to reconsider going on strike because their withdrawal of service may cause damage to the country's health system, which is already stressed by COVID-19.
Working in a government institution is part of government. Anybody, any public servant is part of government. So if we have issues that have not been rightly done, or seemingly not rightly done, complaints is good. So I don't find you people wanting. The only thing is that this situation that have cropped up, because I've read your complaints and I've communicated them to the Ministry of Health, the Minister, and the Minister of Finance. And as a matter of fact, last week we had a government side meeting on all the issues. That's why the things are where we are now. Because we started solving those problems. We started solving them. We put up proposals with even timelines on how to deal with them.
Meanwhile, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has called for concerted efforts towards developing a COVID-19 vaccine locally. The Senate President made the call at the presentation of a report by the Young Parliamentarians Forum of the 9th National Assembly and supported by the Westminster Foundation for Democracy in Abuja. He stated that vaccine production had become a necessity for almost every country, stressing that Nigeria should create an enabling environment and allocate resources for its production. Lawan warned that if Nigeria failed to produce its vaccine, herd immunity might not be achieved in the next 5 years.
Nigeria may not achieve herd immunity in the next 4-5 years with our 200 million population. And this is not a fact based on any scientific research. I don't want to misquote it. I am assuming that if it will take years up to probably the end of this year to achieve 70-75% of vaccination for those that are within the age bracket. Some countries, developed countries, may be looking at the next year with 200 million or even more. And so far we have only about 4 million. I don't know how we can get 70% of our people vaccinated, and that will translate into about 150 million or even more to vaccinate them in the next 2 years or even 3 years. So we need to work hard, provide the legislative intervention in terms of resources and environment for our scientists to work.
Away from health now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is infuriated about properties in the United Arab Emirates and the United Kingdom purchased by corrupt Nigerians. The EFCC chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa, hinted that the commission will go after such assets. Bawa spoke while receiving a document from a coalition of Nigeria's civil society organizations led by the Human and Environmental Development Agency, HEDA. Bauer charged citizens to be vigilant and play their part in checking the illicit flow of the nation's resources out of the country. The EFCC boss promised a more proactive approach to law enforcement and the fight against corruption. To security matters now, the United States Department of State says there is no verifiable evidence on the reported killings of end-SARS protesters at the Lekki toll gate on October 20 last year. It stated this in a report titled 2020 Country Report on Human Rights Practices, Nigeria. But British High Commissioner Katarina Lang says Nigeria's worsening security situation is a source of concern to the United Kingdom. She said the UK, however, is prepared to assist Nigeria in the war against insecurity. In Nigeria, Air Force Alpha Jet involved in the anti-terror war against Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province has lost radar contact in Borno State. NAF spokesman Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, in a statement today, said the Alpha Jet lost radar contact yesterday evening. A radar system is used at airports to detect and display the presence and position of aircrafts in the terminal area and the airspace around airports. Gapquet said though the whereabouts of the attack jet was unknown as of the time of filing the report, search and rescue efforts were ongoing. The NAF spokesman, however, did not disclose the number of officers on board the yet-to-be-found jet. And at home here in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has expressed optimism that efforts to incorporate traditional rulers into the newly conceived integrated security concept, as well as include non-state actors into a voluntary security initiative, would significantly help to address challenges of insecurity in the state. The governor stated this in a meeting with traditional rulers and head of security agencies in the state held at the House of Chiefs State Secretariat. Governor Makinde explained the reliance on intelligence gathering from indigents with close synergy from traditional rulers would assist the State Security Task Force prefer solutions to some of the most challenging insecurity problems in the state.
That is part of why I've called this meeting. You're the ones who see some of these foreigners as they enter your state. You can report when strangers are coming with the approach for voluntary policing. All non-state actors can also be reined in, and we need your support to achieve that. And with the support, everybody, the state actors, the non-state actors, our traditional rulers, I believe we will achieve a secure Oyo State.
Earlier in his remark, the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, explained that the centralization of security in the hands of the federal government, as enshrined in the nation's constitution, was not the best for the country, and urged the state governors not to relent in their agitation for state police. Also, the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Saliu Aditunji, and the Shon of Ogbomosho, Oba Adewumi Ajagungbade, commended the Makinde-led government for efforts made so far in addressing issues of insecurity in the state and pledged support to every initiative or policy aimed at curbing the menace of insecurity across the nooks and crannies of the state. Well, still on the news, the chairman, Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, Are Isiaka Abiola Olagunju, SAN, has urged members of the political parties in the state to intensify efforts on their preparation for local government council elections in order to achieve their set goals. He made the call yesterday while addressing members of registered political parties in Oyo State at the OISEC office, Agodi Quarters, Ibadan. Mr. Olagunju, who commended the executives of political parties for their cooperation towards the success of the elections, called on the leadership of political parties to further educate their followers on the need to maintain good conduct during the campaign and on election day. The state's chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, Otumba Adigbenro Fagbemi, and National Vice Chairman, All Progressives Grand Alliance Southwest, Dr. Samson Olalere, in their remarks, emphasized the need for political parties to identify localities at which they have the possibilities of emerging victorious during the elections and strategize accordingly. Still in Oyo State, ahead of the forthcoming election of the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, Prince Oluwayemisi Adetayo Adiaga has implored indigenes of Ibadan land to support his bid to become the next President General of the prestigious Ibadan Council. Prince Adiaga today made this call in a press release made available to newsmen in Ibadan, the state capital. In the statement, he stated that ensuring tranquility in Ibadan land, the protection of the Olubadan stool, the completion of the building of the ultra-modern Olubadan Palace, and the provision of gainful employment for the youth in Ibadan land will be the focus of his administration if trusted and elected as the President General of the historic and prestigious Ibadan Indigenes Council. He equally appreciated the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Saliu Aditunji Aje Ogunguniso I, members of the Olubadan in Council, traditional chiefs and Ibadan indigenes, both home and abroad, promising that a vote for him is a vote for development. Well, still the news at 1 p.m. on Splash 105.5 FM. Still to come, 7 major Hong Kong activists found guilty over protests. And in sports, Naomi Osaka hopes to learn lesson from defeat. Excited for clay season. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll bring you details of these and more. Don't go away.
Get ready for Easter like no other.
Here we go again. Money, spending.
Come on, honey. Plenty options for us to pick from the Foodco Easter Sales Bonanza to celebrate Easter with range of incredible low prices.
Really, darling?
Yes, of course. For flash sale incredible offer, buy Big Bull Rice 25 kg at 11,999 naira 99 kobo and get Coca-Cola 50cl pack of 12 and Sunola soya oil 1 liter free.
What?
Other great offers include Malta Guinness pack of 6 at 749 naira 99 kobo. Milo Energy drink 500 gram refill at naira 49 naira 99 kobo. Buy Binotum Blender BLG 403 and get Lola Soya Oil 1.9 liters free. Dry Iron D1 108 and get Sunlight Detergent 900 gram free. Plus many more mouth-watering offers this Easter at Foodco.
Wow.
And take advantage of Foodco Easter Awu, available in all Foodco outlets in Ibadan. Promo runs from 26th March to 5th April. Offers available while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply.
Iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ a sì máa mú ìdẹ̀rùn wá láti wá dènà ìjàmbá iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná. Ojúlówó wáyà tàbí kébù ló yẹ ká fi fa iná nínú ilé, lọ́fíìsì àti nínú ìlú. Pure wires and cables ní àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná àti àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe yàn láàyò. Ojúlówó ni, kì í bó lára, kò kì í jóná àbáàdì, kì í kán sínú, ó sì fini lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòǹtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún. Bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa. Pure
105.5.
Well, thank you so much for staying with us on the news at 1 on Splash 105.5 FM. Turning to the foreign scene now. 7 of Hong Kong's most prominent pro-democracy campaigners have been convicted of unlawful assembly relating to huge demonstrations 2 years ago. Media tycoon Jimmy Lai and veteran politician Martin Lee were among those found guilty of organizing an unauthorized march. All 7 had pleaded not guilty, but now face time in prison. A small group of protesters outside the court held protests denouncing political persecution. 2 other activists had earlier already pleaded guilty and face up to 5 years in jail. Still on the foreign scene, 4 people, including a child, were shot and killed yesterday evening at an office building in Southern California in the United States. It is the 3rd such shooting in the United States in weeks, with 18 people killed in 2 separate gun violence incidents in March. Police Lieutenant Jennifer Ahmed said that the shooter, whose motivations are so far unknown, sustained a gunshot wound and was taken to hospital. She continued that officers were still working to determine whether the wound was self-inflicted or as a result of an exchange of fire with the police. And finally, in sports, Naomi Osaka says she hopes to learn lessons after Maria Sakkari snapped her 23-match winning streak as she now prepares to move on to clay. Osaka had not tasted defeat since losing to Sarah Sorribes-Tormo in last February's Billie Jean King Cup qualifiers, a run that had seen her triumph at both the Australian and US Opens. But the streak came to a sudden end at the Miami Open in a shock 6-love, 6-4 loss in the quarterfinals to the Greek 23rd seed. And just before we go, here's a quick recap of the major headlines. Resident doctors have commenced a nationwide strike. Nigeria Air Force fighter jet has gone missing after losing radar contact in Borno. We told you on the foreign scene that 7 major Hong Kong activists have been found guilty over protests. And in sports, you heard that Naomi Osaka hopes to learn lesson from defeat, excited for clay season. For more details on the news, you can visit our website on www.splashfm1055.com. Now you can download Splash FM mobile app on iOS, BlackBerry World, and Google Play Store to listen live, get news updates, and opinion poll. You can also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5 and then click to download. We now have come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station, and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawowo, assisted by Ayo Olubusi. I am Charity Jerome. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.